Welcome back to the podcast, Redeemed. We've been marching through 1st and 2nd Samuel, talking about David. Our last podcast, we left off with him bringing back the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. And now we're moving on into David, who has now taken official position as king. He's had many victories. He's kind of set himself up. And so now we're going to start to see some of the things that goes on while he's ruling. One of the things he does, which I think speaks to the character of who David was. Now, remember, we did talk about how David and Saul's house did have the fighting, and they fought for quite a while. And eventually, Saul's house, of course, became weaker and weaker and weaker. David's became stronger and took over. But David still felt like he kind of owed Saul's
family, at least.
Yeah. And I think it was just because he was just showing respect to Saul because he had been God's anointed. And not only to Saul, but I think it was to Jonathan.
Yeah, it starts off with, whom can I show kindness for Jonathan's sake?
Yeah.
Doesn't say for Saul's sake.
No.
Yep. It says for Jonathan.
Saul did try to kill me a whole bunch of times.
He did.
Yeah, he's probably saying, I'm missing that guy. And now Jonathan, man, I miss that guy.
Yeah.
So, as a result of that, he summons
Ziba.
Yeah. And he appeared before the king. Ziba basically says, what do you want? And David lays it out. He says, is there anyone in Saul's family basically still alive that I can show kindness to? And lo and behold, they found one.
Yeah.
Found him.
And it was the son of Jonathan.
It was. His name was Mephibosheth.
Yeah, as I say, you say it.
Mephibosheth.
Quite the name.
It is quite the name.
Mephibosheth.
Yep. And so David was okay with that. Said, go get him. Of course, then we find out that he's lame in both feet.
Yep.
And it was because when David was basically taken over, the maid picked up the kid, took off running, but she dropped him or fell. I can't remember exactly which it was. And basically made him lame in both feet.
Yeah.
So with that being said, David brings him basically, gives him a whole plot of land, does all this stuff for him, and then says, from this day forth, you will eat at my table. Mm-hmm. And from that day forth, that's what Mephibosheth did. Ate at the king's table.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
It is hard to say. I'm not trying to say it.
Mephibosheth.
Mephibosheth.
Mm-hmm.
Which just, once again speaks to the character of who David was. I mean, David didn't really owe Jonathan anything. He didn't owe Saul anything. He didn't owe that family nothing. God had already given him the place of authority.
Yes.
He was going to make him king. But David, in his kindness, which I like that, kindness, showed kindness to one of Jonathan's offspring.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because, I mean, after all that fighting, to even think about that family, to want to go back and do something is pretty spectacular. But David was a little different. I mean, he was truly a man after God's own heart, and he did lots of things that had character. He did some things that showed absolutely no character, but he also did some things that showed character as well. And I think it just goes to show that if we are Christians, we do need to show kindness to people. Mm-hmm. Kindness is a big thing. Mm-hmm. Whether they deserve it or not.
People that don't deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, what did this kid do? Absolutely nothing.
But his grandfather was a bit of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Also says he had a son.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Micah.
Mm-hmm.
Micah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I also like the guy who is also in charge of all of Mephibosheth's stuff. All of it. Ziba, he's a pretty cool guy too. He does everything the king asks and serves faithfully. I mean, it's pretty neat. He seems like he was a pretty stand-up guy.
Well, yeah, he was a busy dude. He had 15 sons and 20 servants. So he was managing like 35 people every single day.
Mm-hmm. And
I got another one I got to watch.
And as you continue reading, we're going to hear, I think we run into Ziba again. And I think he gets even more for being loyal to David. So
loyalty pays.
Mm-hmm. It does.
To the right people.
I was going to say, if you're loyal, In this case,
Loyalty
it really
to
pays.
David,
'cause
yeah.
Loyalty to David's a great thing, but
Yep.
yeah, it's fair.
Other times, not so much.
Yeah. Philistine loyalty probably wasn't the greatest there for a
Wasn't the
little
best,
while.
Yeah.
Or Amorite. Or Ammonite.
Either.
Right, yeah.
The Amorites.
Both.
Amorites, I think it was. Yeah, because he wiped both those out pretty
Yep.
pretty substantially.
And they're gone.
But once again, that was just God being in charge and taking care of business and using David to do it. So just, as Christians, we need to show kindness, and not just because those people deserve it, but just because because of who we are.
That's what we're called.
Yep. And that's what David did. He just showed kindness because it was who he was.
Yep.
All right. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk at you next time.